Okay, today I'm going to talk to you guys about the SWOT analysis, which is a strategic tool for evaluating projects and tasks and just about any kind of goals that you have in your life, whether it's business or personal. So, a SWOT analysis is a simple but powerful way to evaluate all those different projects, all those different tasks that you're working on, and it helps you figure out which ones are truly supporting your mission and your objectives and which are pulling away from them. So, by breaking things down into your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which is the breakdown for the acronym SWOT, you can make smarter decisions about where to focus your time, where to focus your energy, and all of your resources. Now, the key to making this process work is we want to use data instead of relying on any kind of gut feelings or assumptions, okay? Because emotions and the personal biases that we have can make things seem more or less effective than they really are. So that's why it's really important to track measurable results, whether it's conversion rates, whether it's revenue, whether it's engagement or productivity. And when you rely on numbers, you get a clear, objective picture of what's actually working. So most things we try to measure using numbers. There's a few times, 2 or 3% of the time where it's hard to do that, but for the most part we want to use numbers because numbers don't lie. But people sometimes misinterpret or overlook key details. So a structured but kind of data-driven approach is going to help us cut through some of the noise, so that you can eliminate what's not working and double down sort of on what it is. So whether you're evaluating any kind of marketing strategy or some of your product management systems, or maybe you got new ideas, a SWOT analysis is going to help you make more confident, more strategic decisions that keep you on the right path with your goals. So let's break these down together. The first one is strengths. So with strengths, you want to start by asking yourself, what efforts have produced the best results? What efforts have produced the best results? The goal is to refine your process so that only the tasks that truly support your mission and objectives are going to remain. Okay? So when you start removing kind of those low value activities that aren't contributing to your ultimate mission and objectives, what's going to happen is you're going to free up your time, you're going to free up your energy, you're going to release more resources to focus on what actually drives success. And this approach is called maximizing. It's about focusing on what works and cutting out all those different activities that don't work. Okay, so we're going to maximize our efforts. So for example, if a company has $500 to spend on marketing, the question is, should they invest in a week's worth of maybe hiring some door knockers to hang door hangers, or should they take that money to run a month's worth of social media ads? Okay, so the key question is, which option is going to deliver the best return on investment? And to understand that answer, you can do that by tracking and analyzing the results. And businesses can make really good data-driven decisions that are going to lead to those better outcomes. So the goal is, the more clearly you define your strengths, the easier it's going to become to allocate resources effectively. So instead of spreading yourself thin, you're going to focus on the tasks and the strategies that are going to generate the most impact. And this not only improves efficiency, but it's also going to ensure that your efforts are consistently supporting your long-term goals. So let's talk about the second thing, which is weaknesses. Okay, so now we want to ask ourselves, what efforts have pulled us away from our mission? What efforts have pulled us away from our objectives? It's easy to hold on to tasks or projects simply because they started with a great idea. But personal attachment has a way of creating bias. Okay, So some people might defend an idea too strongly. If it was their pet project, if it was their idea, they might defend a little bit too strongly. While other people might be eager to dismiss the idea. They might be kind of, biased towards the results, and they're looking for all the negative things that happen. So that's why relying on data is essential. So instead of making decisions that are based on personal opinions, we want to look at the numbers as much as possible. So we want to ask questions like, which investments gave us the smallest returns? What investment gave us the smallest ROI? So for example, if you spent $100 on an image-based social media ad, and then you ran a video social media ad as well, $50 on each of them, you're going to look at which ad brought in the most visitors, which ad reached the most people, which ad brought in the most conversions. Okay, so you're trying to figure out which of the two brought in the least amount so that you can eliminate that. And by analyzing kind of that real performance data, you can pinpoint what's not working. Okay, so the idea here is that the lowest performing efforts should move to that delete section in your E matrix. Okay, so this isn't about personal preference. It's about cutting wasted efforts so you can focus on what's truly driving your results. And then let's talk about the third aspect here, which is opportunity. So brainstorming new ideas is crucial. Okay, you got to brainstorm new ideas if you're going to have some business growth, but here's where you have to be careful. Not every idea deserves a spot on the opportunities list. Okay, so here's kind of the key rule. Every opportunity has to align your mission. It has to align with your mission and objectives. Okay, so you want to define what your mission and your objectives are for your company, your career, your family, whatever that is, because if those ideas don't align with those, it doesn't matter. It's just a distraction. It's keeping you from what matters most. So once you've identified kind of those potential opportunities that do align with your mission, focus on testing. Okay, so here's what I would recommend. Instead of making big commitments up front, try investing small, invest in small kind of experiments to compare the performance of different things that you're testing out. So for example, if you if you have $500 for marketing, don't spend it all in one place. Try $50 on a door knocking campaign that for half a day, and then take another $50 and put it towards social ads and see which delivers best results. Test it in small increments, because the more tests that you run, the more data you collect, and it's going to help you make smarter decisions. Okay, so kind of a good rule of thumb is you want to fail small and fail fast. Okay, you want to fail as small as you can, and you want to do it as fast as you can. So A/B testing should happen really consistently, like on a day-to-day basis, and you want to use as limited resources as you possibly can. And if an idea proves to be successful, then add it to your E-matrix list and prioritize it accordingly. Okay, so by doing this approach, it's going to ensure that only the most effective opportunities are going to get your time and get your energy and get your investment. So let's talk about the fourth and final part of the SWOT analysis, which is threats. Now, threats are external factors that can slow progress down, or it can disrupt our operations. So some threats are predictable, like maybe a new competitor entering the market, while other threats, such as economic downturns or global crises, are impossible to foresee. We have no way of knowing when those things are going to happen. And while we can't prepare for every scenario, you can set up kind of these early warning systems to spot some of those potential risks before they become a major problem. So start by conducting regular industry research. So track your competitor's activity and try to determine if there's any trends going on. Review things like your financial reports each quarter and try to identify when the slow seasons are that might affect your revenue. If you're trying to identify any potential threats on your team or your company, use anonymous team surveys to kind of assess the workplace culture and try to uncover any potential employee issues before they turn into something major that blows up later on. Try to nip it in the bud ahead of time. Now, not every threat can be eliminated, but that doesn't mean that you're powerless. So when you're facing a challenge, your best move is to pivot and adapt. You got to learn to pivot, and you got to learn to be agile. So instead of reacting in panic, take a strategic approach, okay? Learn to be flexible with your systems. Learn to adjust your plans. Reinforce the different strengths that are working. Find ways to minimize the impact that's coming down on you. And stay proactive in order to get kind of a better chance of maintaining stability even when you've got uncertain times that are threatening your goals. So that's kind of an overview of the SWOT analysis, and I love to use this when I'm working with my customers, whether it's in a personal situation or a business or career situation. You can use this tool to kind of filter and screen what's working and what's not working in your life. And if you have any questions about life or business coaching, as always, you can visit my website at isaaccano.com.